Before you jump into it for the first time, you should know that Super Meat Boy is a serious platformer. It's going to slowly introduce new mechanics, obstacles, enemies as it goes along, before expanding on those concepts until you want to pull your hair out. After 8 years, the game hasn't lost a step, and it's definitely still hard as hell. Hi, I'm Brian Auer, and this is Nintendo Village's review of Super Meat Boy. I want to start by going back to 2010, the year it was released. When was the last time you looked at a list of 2010 games? It's epic and filled with some amazing single-player campaigns. What's more, Super Meat Boy went toe-to-toe with them, topping many Game of the Year lists. Something else was happening in 2010. Remember that time that Roger Ebert decided to use his soapbox to trash on a TED Talk by designer-producer Kelly Santiago? A talk which was entitled Are Video Games Art? Maybe trash is a bit harsh, but Ebert had long been outspoken in his opposition to the idea of games as art. At the heart of all discussions or debates on the topic is each side's inability to agree on the definition of art itself. I found Kelly Santiago's attempt a little lacking, as did Mr. Ebert, who spent the majority of his piece picking our arguments apart. However, by that summer he was walking most of this back, holding fast to his beliefs while admitting that he never should have said them out loud. Why am I prattling on about this? Well, to be honest, I find it humorous, infuriating, an incorrect use of the word ironic, that this discussion was going on during a year when so many amazing single-player games hit the market. There are a number of titles from 2010 that could be put forward as art. One of these games happens to be Super Meat Boy. Super Meat Boy is an intense game. I say intense because the levels are short, but brutal. It is not uncommon to die 20 plus times as you slowly figure out what the stage is asking of you. There are buzzsaws, lasers, lava, spikes, fireballs, and a plethora of enemies, all waiting for the opportunity to end your run and send you back to the beginning. While the controls feel a bit floaty, they are in reality very tight. There's a learning curve, but once you have the mechanics down, it feels like every mistake is your own fault. The levels themselves are excellently constructed. At first, there seem to be multiple ways to tackle them, but after you really begin to understand the physics of the game, a true path will emerge in your mind's eye. When I began playing Super Meat Boy, I was a bit turned off by the memorization. It seemed as though free will was an illusion, and if I wanted to see more of the game, I was going to have to follow the rules. This is where my thoughts on Roger Ebert come in. Over the years, the more he tried to define his objections, the muddier they became, but in their purest form, they boil down to this comment from 2005. Video games by their nature require player choices, which is the opposite of the strategy of serious film and literature, which requires authorial control. It's the final part of this quote, authorial control, where many who agree with Mr. Ebert decide to rest their case. However, it is also responsible for some of Super Meat Boy's best levels. When I went back to the beginning with a deeper understanding of the gameplay, these levels started to click in my brain. The line I needed to take became clearer, and the game became easier. It became fun, and it's because of authorial control. The levels become set pieces instead of playgrounds, and when you're flying through a stage effortlessly, hitting every jump, its true artistry is revealed. There are a number of levels that I would consider art. As far as how this all feels on the Switch, I've probably played 50-50 in portable and docked mode, and while portable works very well, I found myself having more fun playing on my TV. Two-player mode is fine, but it lacks local co-op. Racing and split screen derails the flow of the game. With the reduction in screen size comes a reduced ability to see what is coming up, bringing the action to a halt as you figure out your next move. With deep mechanics and clever levels, Super Meat Boy surprised the hell out of me. It takes real skill to make a game this hard without making the player want to rage quit. And every time I failed, I just wanted to jump back in for one more try. It's put together so well, and all of the pieces have a purpose. Team Meat's Classic is an easy recommend on the Switch. A 5 out of 5.
Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe, check out some of our other videos, and visit thenintendovillage.com, your home for everything Nintendo.